So we head to DD2 Masters. It's a small grid, but as they say, small in stature, big in heart. Let's have a look at the grid for race 1 of 3 for this class. So pole position was decided by not very much yesterday. 45 thousandths of a second separated first and third. So Michael Becker from FM Racing in the Comp Kart chassis starts from pole position, representing Germany. FM Racing's Swiss hotshot in the form of Alessandro Glauser, who currently is second in the championship coming into this round, starts on the front row. Current championship leader, Francis Paul Louvaux, in the 564, running on the Red Speed chassis, has had 2 race victories at Genk, 2 second places at Adria, and gives him an 11-point lead coming into this weekend. Then it's another 2 French drivers in the form of Bruno dos Santos, who lines up alongside Louvaux in the 523. Running with KMD on the Sodi Kart chassis. And then kart runners, Christophe Capitain in the 502, running on the Tony Kart, rounds out the top 5. Marco Winkler, who has competed in the Euro Trophy before, if memory serves me correctly, but ran on other machinery. He now runs on the Parolin chassis and took a podium last week at RMC Germany Round 2 at this very circuit, so watch out for him. Konrad Bayer, his first appearance on the Euro Trophy after a little bit of a hiatus. The 580, based in Mettmann, just outside of Düsseldorf, starts 7th and will have alongside him the Tony Kart from FM Racing's Tanju Yildiz in the 570. So 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Now, with the weather at the moment, 17 degrees Celsius. A little bit of a low-lying mist coming in from the circuit as we go onto the formation lap here. So it's Becker from Glauser, Louvaux, Dos Santos, Capitain, Winkler, Bayer and Yildiz. There is Tanju Yildiz. So they're taking all the DD2 karts through after having completed their first of 3 heats this weekend. And on the basis of the intermediate classification, we will then have our respective drivers confirmed for who will be on pole position for the pre-finals for tomorrow. And final one will start, this first set of finals start at 10:50 tomorrow morning, with Ginny Rotax kicking things off, and then everything will be rounded out, both sets of finals, by Project E20. So there are all 8 drivers ready to go racing in DD2 Masters. It's going to be a good one. We'll just see who gets the best run coming out of the final corner and onto the start-finish straight. 10 minutes plus an additional lap for DD2 Masters, as it's Becker and Glauser on the front row. They will control the pace. Into the tram lines we go. The revs start to rise. Are we ready? Lights are out and we're off and racing. And looks like Paul Louvaux got a good jump on Alessandro Glauser going through, and Louvaux is going to hit the front of the field before we've even hit the exit of the first main corner. And Louvaux looking over to his left and right, and there goes Glauser trying to go around the outside through into turn 4 before they've even hit the apex. So that is pretty good racing there. Becker's found himself down into 4th place. He's being chased down by Marco Winkler, who's getting a little bit of an assist there from Bruno dos Santos. As Tanju Yildiz gets straight lines it. Oh my goodness. Straight away. Now, the thing is, I just noticed Tanju Yildiz was on slick tyres. That's why he went straight on, because the amount of pickup on those tyres was quite ridiculous. So I think he possibly thought that maybe slick tyres might be a good opportunity for me to get some places. Well, it didn't work out on that particular occasion, because across the line, it is Paul Louvot that leads from Switzerland's Alessandro Glauser. The pair are covered by just under 0.4 of a second. Christophe Capitain in third place. Marco Winkler up into fourth. Michael Becker started on pole position and now all the way down in fifth place, ahead of Bruno Dos Santos. Konrad Bayer rounds out the top seven. Now, the biggest thing is that what is Daniel Yildiz deciding to do is now Christophe Capitain nigh on having Marco Winkler right up his inside, going through into this chicane complex here. And Capitain goes wide. Winkler just literally gets a good run, but here comes Capitain. Tries to do the old switchback, but quickly, there was a quick reaction from Marco Winkler on that particular occasion, because he knew exactly where to park the car to not allow Capitain to get through. There is Daniel Yildiz languishing. He's well behind Konrad Bayer by the tune of about 30.2 seconds. Lap 2 completed. Paul Louvot continues to lead and now starts to stretch his advantage over Alessandro Glauser. Marco Winkler in P3. Christophe Capitain in fourth. Michael Becker is being pressurised by Bruno Dos Santos. Konrad Bayer is a little bit further back, but he's still rounding out at seventh place ahead of Daniel Yildiz, as here is a chance for Christophe Capitain to get past Marco Winkler, but Winkler's having none of it. And now here comes Michael Becker to try and close in on the 502 from France. So just over 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Paul Louvot continues to lead. We're going to go on to lap number 4 very shortly as he crosses the line, and he's ahead of Alessandro Glauser by just over a second. Marco Winkler continues to round out the top 3. There's Michael Becker and Bruno Dos Santos trying to close in on the number 502 of Christophe Capitain, just up ahead. So just over 6 minutes remain. Louvot's just putting in the hot laps at the moment. He's running in the 104 4s and 6s and 7s at the moment, is the French driver. He's set the best lap time of 1 minute 4.464. And sometimes in these races, okay, it might not be the biggest field, but sometimes you've just got to get your head down. Louvot has got his head down and he's actually pulling away. He's nearly 1.3 seconds up the road from Alessandro Glauser. Winkler has also put in a personal best. His gap between him and Glauser is now 2.9 seconds. There's been improvements from everybody apart from Konrad Bayer and Bruno Dos Santos. Dos Santos is about 0.64 behind Michael Becker. As we're halfway through the race, and Louvot looking to secure heat victory very early on in proceedings, which will give a little bit of impetus, a little bit more motivation for those behind to try and catch him. But Louvot, has gone up against three former champions in this class. Sebastian Humpelhardt, who will be the outgoing champion. There's no discussion about that. That's pretty much guaranteed. Roberto Pajewski, the 2019 champion, who also went on to win the Grand Finals that same year in Sarno. And also Poland's Sławomir Morański, who has had a bit of a difficult season in his own right this year. So, realistically, it is Paul Louvot's title to lose. is where it is about just keeping calm. You don't need to consistently go hell for leather and go for broke. You do know that sometimes that can stand you in good stead, but not always. Because if you do push a bit too hard when it comes to the race itself, you can make mistakes, and all of a sudden that can be your race or maybe even title falling by the wayside. We have seen that happen before in previous championships. This battle here, this is Alessandro Glauser, and in the meantime, Marco Winkler has slowly been catching him up. Because things are changing. Looks like the track is evolving slightly. But Tanya Yildiz deciding to go onto slicks was an inspired choice, but not necessarily the correct one. But Marco Winkler has been running in the 1 minute 4s. He put in a 1 minute 4.182 on lap number 5, and now Alessandro Glauser has got to watch his back bumper. Tanya Yildiz keeps out of the way. I think he's, well, the thing is that he could either do one of two things. Either continue to run and keep out of the way, or pull it into the pits. Well, we know, I think I know Tanya as well as anybody that he will just stay out there and just keep pushing. That's all he can do at the end of the day. You know, you make a decision, you have to unfortunately stick with it, and that's what Tanya Yildiz has had to deal with, especially when he went straight on earlier on in the race. Now it's about the battle for second position. Alessandro Glauser being closed in on by Marco Winkler. So Switzerland versus Germany. It sounds like the Euros all over again. A little bit further behind, you can see there's some good battling here. That is between Michael Becker, who's got past Christophe Capitan in the meantime, and Bruno Dos Santos is not too far adrift. Tanya Yildiz deciding, well, I'm just going to stick with them. We better just watch his braking points, because obviously with what happened on the first lap for the German in the 570, it just went a bit awry for him at that particular moment. There is Alessandro Glauser. And that looks to be, I'm just going to have a look here, that is the 502 of Christophe Capitan, so it looks like Marco Winkler might have gotten past. Paul Levaux crosses the line to start lap number 9. Marco Winkler has gotten past, so there has been a bit of a ball dropped by Alessandro Glauser. He lost well over a massive amount of time, 2.2 seconds to Marco Winkler on the previous lap. And Winkler was catching him hand over fist. 60 seconds on the clock remains. So Paul Levaux will look to consolidate a very, very good advantage and also winning margin at the end of this race, as he now looks to move forward and try and get ahead of the rest of the opposition, which he is doing exactly what he needs to do right now. He is pretty much untroubled, and he'll be, I'm sure that he'll have a nice little celebration afterwards when, obviously, not of just being able to sort of like celebrate his race victory, but all race results are provisional, pending any sporting and technical checks. So we're on the penultimate lap. Levaux's got a lead of 4 seconds ahead of Marco Winkler. And Winkler has got the fastest lap in his pocket, a 1 minute 4.182. As the timer has now struck 0, that is it. We're on the penultimate lap of this race. Levaux leads from Winkler. Winkler from Glauser, Becker, Capitan, Dos Santos, Bayer, and still pounding the track despite his choice of tyres, Tanya Yildiz from Germany. So Levaux now will cross the line, and he goes on to the 11th and final lap of this race. Marco Winkler, 4 seconds adrift in second, having gotten past Alessandro Glauser a couple of laps or so ago for P2. And there is Levaux. loves his racing, as does anybody else. And he has been unassailable this season. Obviously, Glauser managed to close the gap in Adria, but it's here where it could make all the difference. And these wet weather conditions have proved to showcase those that can shine in both wet and dry weather conditions, and those that can keep a cool head whilst others lose theirs. As up towards the final couple of right-hand corners comes Paul Levaux, even a little bit of drifting there, going through into the braking zone. But it's one more corner, and France's Paul Levaux wins the first heat out of 3 here in DD2 Masters. Marco Winkler takes P2, a well-deserved effort for the German, ahead of Alessandro Glauser. Michael Becker, who started on pole, finished P4, ahead of Christophe Capitan, with Bruno dos Santos rounding out the top 6. Very shortly, we should have Konrad Bayat come around the final corner, and he even puts on a little bit of a drift display coming out of the final turn. One more driver to go, who will end up a lap down. Tanju Yildiz from Germany takes 8th position, and I think he's just happy that he's just happy he got to the end of it. But let's have a look at the results. Levaux untouchable in this race. 4.3 seconds. He started P3. He took the lead after just the first couple of corners and went on to win the race. Marco Winkler, a solid effort from the 566 from Germany. 4.3 seconds, having gotten past Alessandro Glauser, with Michael Becker rounding out the top 4. Christophe Capitan in 5th, ahead of Bruno dos Santos, Konrad Bayat, and last but by no means least, Germany's Tanju Yildiz bringing up the rear in 8th.